Yo, welcome to the man cave. Drown they legends. WNBA news. We about to ring the bell. Leave Diggy, Coach Ed, we got the scoop. On and off the court, watch the power move. From the hardwood glory to the locker room chats. We cover it all, ain't no need for no stats. Sipping on knowledge, pouring out the truth. Supporting the queens who brings the fire, that's the proof. So sit back, turn it up, let the stories unfold. Yeah, WNBA, we bring the heat, the future's bold. In the man cave where the legends collide. Leaf Diggy and Coach Ed got that East Coast pride. What? WNBA vibes, we breaking it down. From the game to the grind, let's wear that crown. Yeah. Stay tuned in, we keeping it real. The stories of strength and the heart that you feel. Dishing out knowledge like assist, we aim. In the man cave where we elevating the game. So grab your seat, let the action ignite. Yeah, WNBA, we bring you the light. Keep it tight.
What's going on, everyone? Oops, sorry. Let me correct this. And there we go. What's up, everyone? It's Coach Ed with the Man Cave here with another episode of Courtside View in the W. So we're here today, excited to talk about what's going on in the W. A lot going on, so really excited to bring you guys another episode. So appreciate everyone for being here. Make sure y'all know the routine. Gonna get into it real quick. Make sure y'all hit that like button, sub up, and get notified. And also make sure you leave comments for my man Cave, Leaf when he comes in, the Aboriginal Sports Network, the Hardcore Sports Network, New York Liberty Courtside with Coach Ed, and of course Coach Ed Sports. If you're on Twitter, X, man, hit that heart button, man. Show us some love. You know the deal. So appreciate everyone again for being here. So let's really get into it. But Cave, how you doing, my brother? How's everything with you?
Man, it's a great day, man. It's great, man. The weekend was great. Like I said, traveling back from, the parade as well and stuff like that. So, and it's been great, man. And then, like I said, the ladies game's been taking off, man. A lot of things going on, some upsets and stuff like that, man. A lot to cover, man. And hey, that's what we talking about in the beginning of the season. This season's gonna be very, very competitive, and that's what we've been seeing, a lot of competitive games in the WNBA, man. And hey, we've been rolling on a couple. We've been thinking like, it's a given that this team is gonna win, and it don't happen that way because somebody's stepping up. So it's a lot of surprises and stuff like that, man. But big night today, man. Big night, especially for the ladies, and especially tonight for the young gentlemen in the NBA draft afterwards, man. So we all happy, excited about that. So great day of basketball, man. Got you guys covered, man. So hey, I'm great, man. Having a great day. And it's sunny out too. Nice.
All right. I hear you. Enjoy that sun. So let's get right into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about, are the New York Liberty in trouble after the 2 losses to Washington and Los Angeles? I mean, could they fall back to the end of the playoffs or even out of contention? I mean, Cave, what's your thoughts about this?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised about the losses, especially to the Sparks, man, because that game, the Liberties is in control of that game, man. They had 14-point lead, 16-point lead at one point in the third quarter, and I thought they was going to coast to the victory, man. And all of a sudden, here it comes, man. They was coming back, man, and I think what's her name? She found a fountain of youth, or saying Necca. She said found of youth, and she went crazy, and that was it, man. So, hey, but then like I say, lows into the Mystics, right? Washington. Yeah, but sometimes like how we say in the season, sometimes it's a long season, sometimes it's games like this you're gonna have and stuff like that. You're gonna drop some games that you should have been winning and stuff like that, which gonna come back to bite you in the end, because now at the end you could have got a higher seed had you took care of business earlier in the season. Especially against teams like this, like you should get dubs against these guys. Now, if you lose to the top teams, okay, I'm cool with it. But guys like teams like this, where you had control of the game, you got to stay in control of the game. You got to keep doing what got you the lead and take care of business and stuff like that, man. So I'm not really too worried about the Liberty. I think they're good back. And like I said, Sabrina just got back a couple of games ago, so it's all right. So by the end of the season, by the middle of the season, they'll have their bearings back right. So I'm not too worried about the Liberty and stuff like that. It was an eye opener and stuff like that, but hey, it happened. So we'll just roll on for it. Nothing wrong, nothing to write home about.
RC says Cave Liberty would have at least made it to overtime if Suey made both those free
Yep.
throws. Well, I'm going to say this because and I'm going to touch on both games, and I'm going to go in reverse order. I'm going to start with the Sparks, all right? Because I streamed that game, and one of the keys that I said in that game was NECA being an offensive scorer to kind of help out Plum. Because they needed that. What's up, Daniel Berry, man? Appreciate you, man, tapping in. Happy Tuesday to you as always. But yeah, I said she needed to be that secondary scorer, and that's exactly what she did. She definitely did become that secondary scorer. The first half, the Liberty were just, they were doing their thing, but that second half, I don't know there's some I was concerned with some moves that he was doing. So, but overall, I mean, I get it. The players have to produce. Sabrina, I know she's working her way in, but she did seem a kind of a loss. There was that one play where she had a wide open layup and she missed it. And I was just like, now I know some of that was maybe she didn't get a good lift, and I, like I said, she's working her way in. I question why Benijah wasn't worked into the rotation because they said she was available, and then after the game, he said that's part of the reacclimation with her. And I was just like, well, if that was the case, then why did you make her available? And she was on the sideline in uniform, so so it sometimes it confuses me with some of his strategies. I get throwing the zone in there now. I've gotten used to that on occasion and mixing it up. There's times, but teams also know when the Liberty go to the zone, you put someone at the high post automatically, and then force the defense to adjust to what they're doing. Otherwise, that player can turn shoot right there from the basically from the free throw line. So, hopefully this is something that he'll adjust later on. Maybe he'll go to a 3-2. That way you take away that high post and make them really try to work to get into the paint. But again, the man-to-man, I do like that a little bit more. And again, Rebecca Allen, he played her, this game. So, and you hadn't seen her for most of the season. So it was just, I mean, it just seemed like when Maureen Johannes and Ostier came in and that first half they were cooking, and then second half he really didn't play Johannes that much. So I was just, like I said, I was confused, and I'm wondering, and I'm hoping that they really fix it, because I'm not gonna lie to you, Cave. I do have some concerns with the way things are going, and teams are going to get confident. See, that's the thing that concerns me. The teams in the back end, the Washingtons, the LA, teams like that, they've already struggled with Golden State, who's behind them, Dallas, who's right there with them. They've already lost to those two teams. So that concerns me in terms of playoff positioning. Do I think they're going to fall out of playoff contention? No. But can I see them in that 5, 6, 7 spot? Dare I go that far? Yeah, I can. With the way they've been playing and trying to figure things out, and I'm hoping, like you say, they'll figure it out, and they'll be fine. So, and but there's that pessimism in me that's concerned. And then with Washington, Washington, I've always said it. Washington reminds me of Orlando, the Magic in the NBA, in terms of the way they play the Knicks. They are physical, and they get after New York in that mode. I mean, Shakira Austin, when she turns and faces up, it doesn't matter who's there. She's going to attack the paint. So and Lauren Betts is, she gets into her mode, and New York has size, so it's not like they don't. Um,
Mhm.
well, they do have 2 point guards. It's just the way he's using them. Ostier is a very good point guard. Please don't sleep on her. She may be a rookie, but she is a good point guard. And Sabrina, she's coming back from an injury. So, So, and because they don't have a real point, they don't have a real ball handler. That's one of the biggest reasons. Now, I will agree with you on the turnovers. That's a team problem. That's there, and New York has been like this. This isn't even this year. This is these past few years. They've just been lackadaisical. Cave, you can attest to this too, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's not just about the point guard. It's just they're just very lackadaisical with the passes. I mean, John Paul Jones with those underhanded scoop passes. Sometimes it scares the crap out of me, man. I'm like, yo, chill with that, man. Get to the old basic fundamentals, the bounce pass, the bounce pass, the chest passes, things like that. Exactly. So,
Mhm.
Sheila, coach at a cave. So, and again, she's a rookie. She's still learning the NBA, but when she gets taxed that paint too, I mean, it's hard. And then she gets it high off the backboard. Yeah. So, um, but again, that's pretty much it. I mean, in terms of the Liberty. So, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the next topic. And Cave, that's gonna be with you.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Washington Mystics, man. Yo, and they beat New York and Minnesota. That was a shocker. I mean, those are two tough wins, man. Wow. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think they were going to be able to do that. Probably one, but I was going to go 0 for 2, man. But two, and it's on the road. So are they a team that
Mhm.
can be the real deal? So, coach, how do you feel about the Mystics, man?
Yeah, I do feel they can become a problem come playoff time, and they can give teams at the top half a lot of problem, if not get into the top four. I mean, that's gonna be the thing. What's up, Jake? Thanks for tapping in, brother. Everybody, make sure y'all hit that like button, man. Just help get this into the algorithm. We appreciate everyone and all the support. But yeah, Washington. I mean, Sonia Citron. We're going to get into a little bit more with her later on. She shows what she can do. Kiki Arifin, that's the one thing that I noticed in the first game with New York. She didn't play, but she comes back into this and she's a dog, man. She's a straight dog. The way she plays, the way she gets the rebounds. I mean, she goes up for it and she just basically says no one's getting that rebound. Shakira Austin, she plays with a chip on her shoulder. You have Lauren Betts coming off of the bench. What's her name? Amore. I mean, she's a very good point guard. Now, she's not the scorer, but she's that point guard. You have Onuwade over there.
Hmm.
She's a vet, and she gets that team in position to make plays. So yeah, I'm really starting to believe that they're going to become a real deal. And if not this year, next year they're going to be a problem.
Yeah, man. And like I said, man, you remember at the beginning of the season, these are the two teams we said was going to be a problem: the Mystics and also the Dallas Wings. Some young teams that was going to be up and coming and stuff like that. They're going to surprise people. Like I said, they're building their teams the right way. With Lauren Betts is going to be a huge addition for, and like we said, for the Mystics, and she's coming off the bench. So, I mean,
Hmm.
she starts starting. So that means they got two units out there. So, and Lauren Betts, like I said, it ain't gonna take her long. She might get the start, but Shakira Austin is still there and stuff like that. So, yeah, man, they got a lot of things going for them, man. Like I said, the Mystics, man. Like I said, they can become the real deal. But like I said, it's early in the season and stuff like that. At some point, they might start falling back. But hey, if they can keep it up, last year they had three All Stars, right? The three rookies.
Hmm. Hmm.
So hey, if they get no injuries, man, they are going to give some teams some problems and stuff like that. And who was the buzzer beater that Citron hit when she hit that buzzer beater? The
Mm,
Mystics came back. I remember they came back and
yeah,
beat somebody, and it was like a
yeah,
last second shot. Then she hit that. I said,
yeah,
"Wow,
yeah. So, like RC, she's his favorite Mystic player, and this is with former Bruins Lauren Betts and Angela Dokulich on the team. So,
right."
yeah, they're a team to reckon with, and you got to respect them. So, definitely, you guys keep an eye out for them going forward. They're not a team that you can fall asleep on. So, um,
I think the Minnesota one opened up people's eyes because against Olivia
mhm,
Miles, she
mhm.
finally had a dud. You know what I'm saying? But
Exactly. Exactly. So, I'm going to
Oh,
go on to
sorry, RC.
the next segment for you. And go
Mm,
ahead, man.
yeah, man. Angel Reese achieved a milestone. How impressive of a feat is this, man? That Angel Reese. Hey, coach, I'm gonna let you take it, man. The fastest to 1,000 in WNBA history in only 3 seasons.
For her to reach 1,000 rebounds, sorry, the what you call you think about the history of the WNBA. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, for her to get the fastest, I mean, you think about Brittany Griner.
Mm-hmm.
You think about Candace Parker. Heck, think about Aja Wilson right now. I mean, and Angel Reese is the fastest. Now, I know some people personally who clown on her and, because she has the me bound mantra, but she's ferocious. Like, in the NBA, no one said anything. You saw guys like Moses Malone and Dennis Rodman, these guys, and Ben Wallace who are going after the rebounds. This is what she does. You can tell she studies the ball. Like Dennis Rodman used to say, he used to sit pregame and watch guys' shots to get their rotation, so he knows how it's going to come off the board, and you can dominate, improve. Exactly. Exactly. She continues to prove all the haters wrong. And she's someone who I continue to be impressed with. I've always felt like she had the talent. She does have some guard like skills. She's now even putting in the 3-pointer a little bit, but her bread and butter is going after those rebounds. And rebounding is a great art. It's a great art form. So yeah, Jake, you're so right. They should not have given up on her, man. And you think about this. She probably could have achieved it if faster if she didn't have last year on Chicago. She didn't have whatchamacallit on the team with her. Um um uh,
Cardinals.
yeah, Cardosa. Think about that. I mean, there were times they were battling for a rebound. So what's to say she didn't get this a lot faster? So but yeah, I think by the time her career is done, everything goes according to plan. I think she's going to be the best rebounder in all of WNBA history. And and there's been a lot of great rebounders throughout the course of the time. Heck, I still remember what's her name? What's her name? Griffith, who played with Sacramento back in the day.
Yolanda.
Um, yeah, Yolanda Griffith, and in Detroit when she was another great rebounder, and I'm just sitting here trying to remember all the great rebounders. Hmm. So she's the truth, man, and she just goes about her business quietly. I mean, yeah, she plays with a chip, and she is a beast. And she continues to prove all the naysayers wrong. And
Mhm.
some naysayers, some are not going to give her her due credit. So, but yeah, what's your thoughts on her achievement?
Man, I'm telling you like this because the WNBA, we all know it's only like 40 games, man. If you're doing this in 40 games, you're talking about 120 something games you're doing this in.
Hmm.
That's crazy. And you know who are the top rebounders in history? Number one is Tina Charles with 4,200
Hmm.
rebounds and Sylvia Fowles with 4,000 rebounds.
Forgot
So
about them. Yeah.
hey, Angel Reese is going to be in some great company, man. If she keeps doing what she's doing, man, she got 1,000 rebounds in 3 seasons. So you look at this pace at like in another like 7 seasons, and she could have more depending on what it is because she's playing with a better team now. When you play with a better team,
Hmm.
you get more touch, get more rebounds and stuff like that, man. So, man, kudos to her, man. Like I said, she just came in quietly and done what she's always been doing since college and all that stuff. So, she kept true to her form. She's getting these rebounds
Hmm.
and stuff like that. And so, like I said, she proves that she could play with the big girls. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So Angel Reese is not one of those that came in shy and all this type of stuff. She took a rookie initiation and all that stuff, and look at what she's done now. She might not be
Hmm.
the best scorer, shooter, and whatever, but she does something to rebound that nobody else could take away from her. And like I said, and like we always talk about the me bounce. Hey, if y'all know about it, do something about it. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
one thing to talk about it, but on the court when you're playing against it, do something about it. You know?
Exactly.
But
Exactly. So I'm with you, bro. So
mhm,
congratulations to her also. So in reference to um, um, getting that achievement. So and That's pretty much it. So we're going to go ahead and move on to the next one, and you can actually take the lead on this one, man.
Yeah, man. Neka Ogumake hits the game-winning shot for Los Angeles over New York. Can this one catapult the Sparks into serious playoff? I don't know so much about that part, but I just think it's one of those like they just get up for the big games and stuff like that, man. And I watched that game, man. Towards the end, I was a little bit tired, but I watched it. I was just like, in my mind, I just kept thinking they may have a shot. The way they was coming back, and we just
Hmm.
could not hit nothing. And I was
Hmm.
like, this. I was like, with seconds on, I was like, we still about 1 or 2 points. I was like, oh, they could come back and hit a shot to send it to overtime or do something. And NECA, man, like I said, she ain't been known as a 3-point shooter, but in that game, man, she was hitting the threes in that game, and I was just like, oh, this is her night, man. And guess what? She's the last person that you want to have in the shots, and for some reason, the Liberty don't know what they were thinking, man. They should have guarded her and make somebody else beat them and stuff like that. But she's the player who had the last shot of the game. As soon as she like let it go out in my mind, I was like, yo, I was like, she's gonna make this shot. She's going to
Hmm.
make this shot, and sure
Hmm.
enough, she made that shot, and and it was a game winner and stuff like that, man. It's like, hey, you got to tip your hat off to the Sparks, man. They kept battling and battling because, like I said, they was down by like 16, 15 points in this game,
Hmm.
third quarter and stuff like that. So they just didn't give up, man. They just kept on fighting and kept on chipping and kept on chipping. And hey, the Liberty, like I said, don't get me wrong, 97, 98 is enough to beat a team, but then you got to play some defense too. You got to play D, you got to get rebounds, So hey, this was a big shot for a neck and thing with the Sparks. They may make a little run, but stuff like this. But I think when it's all said and done, I don't know, man. I just can't see it and stuff like that. But hey, it's a good run, like I said. But hey, stranger things have happened, man. Stranger things have happened. So who knows? Injuries is part of the game too. So you never know. They might climb over somebody too, depending on if they can
Hmm.
stay healthy.
Well, I'm with you. I'll say this first: title contention. No, they're not ready right now. But having Neko on that roster with that young talent, she's getting them ready for the future. So she has great basketball IQ, and she's still showing you that. Look, she still has some game left in her. She's not ready to go out the pasture. So, and for her to come out there, I mean. I'm with you, man. I'm just like, why wasn't anybody really guarding her? And it just seemed like, she came down and she's been there before and she put it up. And, like I said earlier, pregame, I said the Sparks needed her to have to with the offensive production. And what did she do? She went out there and produced offensively. And, it just goes to show this team, you know, is on the up climb, man. Yeah, she's super icy, man. And and look, Kelsey Plum didn't have a good game. I
Mhm.
mean, that's something that you have to also factor in. Like, if she really had a good game, what's to say the outcome couldn't even have been a lot different. Now, again, New York, you killed yourself late in the game missing free throws. I mean, you can't be missing free throws in the clutch like that if you want to be a championship contender. You got to be able to go out there and hit those shots, and then making the necessary plays, the turnovers. It's always the same thing with New York. It's always the turnovers. They're
Mhm.
averaging over almost 16 turnovers a game. You're not going to win like that. Sparks might make a run,
Yeah.
but it might not happen this year. This will be interesting. Yeah, I think they'll make the playoffs. That's my whole point. I do think they're in serious contention for a playoff spot. Where? I think it's anywhere from 6 to 8. They're right there with Washington. They're right there with Toronto. Portland is starting to fade out a little bit. Can they make a run? And then in the middle tier, you have New York, you have Golden State, and you have Dallas right there in a sense. I mean, right now I think Dallas is over New York now. But again, that's the thing with the playoffs. You have that middle set, and then you have the top with Minnesota, with Vegas. Now you got to start putting Atlanta in that conversation. I mean, they're right there. So, New York has the talent to be up there, but they're just really. I mean, I'm going to be honest. They're still trying to figure things out. With a new head coach. And some of the adjustments, like I said earlier, which allowed LA to come back and make the game winner. So, So but yeah, LA, I think they're going to be in that contention right there for the back end of the playoffs ultimately. So, and if they get on a hot streak, also they didn't have Cameron Brink. I forgot about that.
Mhm.
I mean that's another talented young player that you add into the equation. So, and if you that they have a new coach also, so they're still trying to figure things out. So, in the long run, there, in the next couple of years. Sorry about the background, guys. It's going to be they're going to be a team that can be in contention. So
Mm.
we're going to move on to the next one. Hold up.
Yeah, man. Sparks. Sparks are doing it.
All right, and now the next one coming up is the Commissioner's Cup. This is a preview tonight. Um, you know, um, but again, they're also playing each other next week on the 30th. So this is kind of a preview. I know it's in Vegas. Next week is going to be in New York, but um, you know, what is to be expected from both teams tonight? And do you think this game will inspire fans to turn in and view the game on the 30th? So, Cave, what's your thoughts? What do you expect from both teams tonight?
Well, I expect a track meet tonight from both teams tonight, man, because for some reason the Liberties game have been track meets.
Hmm.
However you want to, they can score points in bunches. Their problem is, like I said, turnovers. Turnovers leads to extra points. Turnovers is leads to bad defense, and that's what it is. If they could cut down on these turnovers and concentrate more on the game, then they could have a better chance of winning. But like I said, this is going to be a track meet tonight, and I expect this to be a high scoring game, especially it's a Commissioner's Cup. And like I said, they're the only game on tonight, so Asia Wilson, you know how she shows out big time in games like
Hmm.
this. So
Hmm.
Brianna Stewart, they come to play and all stuff. And hopefully, like I said, man, I could see Sabrina go off tonight and stuff like that. I know she's just getting back, so she's a little bit slow, but and John Quell, we need to have a big game from John Quell. John Quell has to have a big game, man, going up against Asia Wilson and that Aces team and stuff like that, man. So hey, I'm looking for a great game. Like I said, I mean, come on, the two best teams, one of the two best teams in women's basketball, top four teams right here. So can't go wrong with it. Should be a great game and stuff like that. I'll definitely try to tune in a little bit after the draft and stuff like that because it's a 10 o'clock game and stuff like that. So
Hmm.
what a way to end the night, man. You got the, what I'm saying, the draft, and then you got the girls and stuff like the women and stuff like that, man. So,
Hmm.
hey, like I said, I think this is going to be like, I ain't going to say it's going to be in the 90s. I know it's going to be in the 90s with both teams and stuff like that, running gun and stuff like that. So if the Liberty can control their turnover, they can minimize their turnover. I feel good about them winning the game, but I think it's probably going to be the Aces tonight and stuff like that, man.
Yeah, I'm with you in terms of what I'm expecting from both teams. Yeah, New York is averaging almost 90 points a game. I think Vegas is pretty much right there with them. But yeah, I'm expecting Aja Wilson to do her thing. One of the things that I'm expecting and hoping from New York, their bench play steps up today because they do have a deep bench in comparison. And then is Kennedy Carter coming back? Because I know she's been out with an injury. So
Hmm.
if she doesn't play, then that can be to New York's advantage. Yes, Joel Lloyd is a Hall of Famer and someone to be respected coming off of that bench. But
Hmm.
if you don't have Kennedy Carter, then can that allow your bench to step up? Is he going to play Bernard Laney this tonight? You
Right.
know, um, Maureen Johannes and Ostier, they have great synergy together. Hans Yu, she's right there. Is Satu also starting? Because last game, she started, so that's
Hitting
taking points
three
off. I'm sorry.
and hitting threes.
Yeah. So, and that's the other thing now. If Sato is starting, how does that match up with Vegas, and how does Vegas match up with New York? Because you have Phoebus starting, Sabrina, Satu, Jonquil Jones, and Brianna Stewart. This is the lineup we have been craving all year. So, if she's starting, that takes production off of the bench, but then you want the other guys. Rebecca Gardner is going to have to step up. Johannes and Ostier are going to have to step up. Hanju is going to have to play big, man. And give us points off of the bench. Carrera, coming off of the bench. They can go deep with their bench, especially against Vegas. So, can they use their bench to attack Vegas? And then, with that zone, is he going to use the zone? Does that neutralize um, Aja Wilson from being down in the low box? Does that force her to either go into the high post, and what do you do to attack it, or is it going to push her out to the wings? So, I'm intrigued to see it. I will say this: if it's a great game, I do think fans are going to even be more excited to watch the game on the 30th. Now if it's not a close game one way or the other, I think it's going to, fans are going to be like, I don't know, and we'll see. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong in what I'm feeling and thinking, but I do think it's going to be a great game, like you had said earlier. So, do you think fans are going to tune in, on the 30th?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's cool. That's good. That's good. All right. So, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic. And we're going to talk about Marine Mayberry. I mean, she had 9 3-pointers in their win over Connecticut. I mean, she scorched them, and she tied the all-time record, man. How important of a player is Mayberry to Toronto in terms of making the playoffs, staying in contention for the playoffs, and then making staying in contention for the playoffs overall? First of all, tapping into her accomplishment, scoring a career high and hitting those 3-pointers.
Yeah, man. So she's a very important player for Toronto because, hey, who's the coach? Sandy Brondello. And Sandy wants a veteran guard. So Marina Mayberry was a must, to get her, in the draft and things like that, man. So, hey, she's a feisty player, man. I got to give it to her. I don't see her be scrapped when she was with the Sky and all that. And so, hey, great player, man. Like I said, and hey, 9 3-pointers, man. Tying a single game record with 9 3-pointers. Like I said, that game, anything she threw up was just going in. She was hot as fish grease, man. And like I said, hey, when she gets it going like that, she could be a problem. She could be a problem, man. And like I said, for the Toronto, just look at their name, the Tempo. They play with Tempo. They play with Tempo. So hey, she was scorching hot, and like I said, but she is a very important player for them because she's one of the engines that make that team go. So hey, it is what it is, man. But like I said, kudos to her, man. Like I said, not shocking, not surprising, And I think that 9 ties. Who was it? It ties.
I had it up.
9 game 3-pointers. I got to say, when 9 is like, man.
Hold on.
It has to be something from like 5-10 years ago. Could be like 5-10-15 years ago, something like that, man. I don't think it was most recent, but hey, I could be wrong, but I don't think it was something that was recent. So it was probably like a WNBA record that's probably been standing for a while. Because 9 3-pointers is a lot of 3-pointers, especially in the women's game. Especially it's not something that's like an everyday thing,
Yeah, I'm trying to look for it now.
Yeah, but she did that. She did that to the Connecticut Sun. To be the Houston Comets. But I guess everybody's having their the game against the Sun, right? He said that's the get right game. Sounds right. Like I said, yeah, Marina Mayberry is a feisty player. She's a very feisty player. Like I said, she wants that smoke, bro.
Chelsea Gray did it against Portland on the 11th.
This year?
This year she hit 9 3-pointers. Trying to see who else
was it before.
It doesn't say. I'd have to do more research.
Yeah, no problem. But hey, like I said, man, a career night for her, man. Good for Marina Mayberry. Happy for her, man.
Look, I'm going to say this about Marina. First and foremost, she's a Jersey girl from the Jersey Shore. So, she got that Jersey grit in her, man. So she brings it, man. So, but yeah, I'm with you, man. I mean, and like Jake said, you don't want to mess with her. I mean, she brings it, and she's not backing down from anyone. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter your status. She wants you to respect her game overall, which is true. You got to respect her game. What she does and what she can bring to the table, offensively, even a little bit defensively. She's gonna nudge you. She's gonna hit you. She's gonna bring it. So she's someone that I've always appreciated her game. Going back to her high school days, man. I mean, I heard about her, and I saw little clips of her, and I was like, yo, that girl can play, man. That girl can definitely play. So shout out to all the Jersey girls in the WNBA. So, but yeah, for her to have a career night like that, in terms of scoring, I believe she scored 37. Yeah, she scored 37, a career high for her. So kudos for her. And then of course the 9 3-pointers. And look, you got to respect her going forward, man. You got to say she's going to be able to bring it, and she's going to get buckets, especially for Toronto. And like you said, in Coach Brondella's system, she fits in perfectly, man. She really does. So we're going to see as we go forward. So next, we're going to talk a little bit. Caitlin Clark picked up her 5th tech of the season against the Mercury. Will her hot temper lead to her picking up 3 more? Because you get 8 before you're suspended. And also, does she have the eyes of the refs now? So what's your thoughts, first of all, of her getting her 5th technical foul the other day?
Not surprising. I don't watch some games where I was like, yo, she got to get a tech because the way she be animated in some games and stuff like that, the way she be going at the referees and stuff like, getting animated. I was like, whoa, and hello, we're only at what, game 17, and there's 7 more games left. Yeah, she's going to get about 3 more techs. You know what I'm saying? She's going to give the only thing that's going to save her is injuries. If she gets injured and she's not playing, but but hold up. We all know the famous, Tim Duncan got a technical foul sitting on the bench, right? The referee. You can still get a technical foul on the bench, you know what I'm saying, if you just join at the referee and stuff like that, man. But yeah, I think she's gonna get about 3 more because, like I said, it's a trying season for the Fever, and when it's like that, when it's like a trying season, it's like all the frustrations come out and stuff like that, and she feel like she ain't getting a call or whatever, or she's done something. It's like, yeah, 3 more is not out of the realm with 27 more games left to go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not. I think she'll get it.
Jake, no, she does not have a WNBA ring, championship ring. So she hasn't been on a team that won one. So, but in a tech for clapping. Look, I understand what you're saying, RC, but she has been getting away other times where she should have gotten a tech and she didn't. So, and now it's like the refs are, I've watched some of these refs, man. Some of them stop short of giving it to her, but they're looking at her and they're giving her an eye like, you better chill. So, yeah, I mean, look, there were questions about some of her antics at Iowa, and I understand passion. Look, let me say this. I don't want to take away a player's passion, but you got to understand how to play control, and you got to understand, Caitlin Clark, you got to understand how important you are to Indiana. You got to be smart. Sometimes you got to swallow your pride, man. Cave Ed, I'm more at peace accepting Caitlin. I'm at peace accepting Caitlin is from the ref school of Rashid Watt.
Yo,
yeah, that's true,
man.
Yeah. But again, like Cave said, man, we're at the start of the season and you already picked up your 5th technical. That's 3 more technicals before you're suspended by the rest of the season, man. That's the crazy part. And she has to hone herself in. The coaches have to hone her in. The organization has to hone her in. Look, every game for the Fever on TV. Everyone wants to see Caitlin Clark. I get it. She's a money grab. She's the money bag. I get it. But look, that's the other part, Caitlin. You got to understand, look, people are here to see you. Look, sometimes you got to go over to the referee, pull him to the side, and look, man, this is what I'm seeing. And I'm not saying the referees are perfect. There's times when the referees make bad calls. We all know it. We all see it. But at the same time, you got to hone it in. You gotta, step back and you gotta say, I gotta be here for my teammates. Because think about it. You get that eighth one, then you're sitting, you're hurting your team. And then it's gonna be more, for the rest of the season. That means you're gonna get more suspensions. Hello, you get suspended, you also lose money. You lose money? Come on, man. Come on. I saw games at hour where Caitlin was pushing girls down like it was nothing. Now she's being held accountable. And exactly, man. And that's the problem. It's like, look, you're in the big leagues now. Act like it. You can't just bully the player because look, you playing with grown ass women now. You ain't playing with teenagers and 20-year-old something, grown ass women, and you go up against the wrong one, you're gonna get a 2-piece to the dome. They ain't gonna care.
Right.
They gonna be like, you ain't talking to me and you ain't, or during the course of the game, you're gonna accidentally get an elbow across the nose. You've already worn a mask a couple of times, so and I'm not advocating for anybody to physically attack her, but what I'm saying is you need to tone it down. You need to understand how important you are to your team, how it hurts your team, and how other teams are going to target you. And like I said, the referees are looking at you now. They're looking at you. They're like, I mean, you gotta, it's. I get it. I get it. I get what she brings to the table. And look, you know who she's always compared to, but you don't see Angel Reese like this to this magnitude. She just goes about her business. Yes, sometimes she lets her ref knows and she knows strategically when to get that tech, but she also knows how to pull it back and look, I gotta be out here for my team. So and those two are always going to be compared to each other no matter what. So she just gotta hone it in, man. Because otherwise, them referees are just gonna sit back and just gonna be like, T, go sit down. T, go sit down. So, but again, so that's all it is right there with her in reference to that. So, the next thing we're going to tap into is let me remove this from the studio. And for those of you who don't know, but Sonia Citron and Jessica Shepard were both named East and West players of the week. So hold on a minute, where is it? I had it. I know I have it right here. Okay, I gotta find the right one. Sorry, I got a couple of apps open up for it. So, and share screen. I hope this is the right one. Yeah, here it is. Okay. All right. So, oops. Here we go. Oops. Sorry, can't put this up. Where is it? Here it is. That's it. So Sonia Citron, 21 points, 6.7 rebounds. Think about that. 6.7 rebounds at a guard, 4.87 assists. And then, like I said, Jessica Shepard, 16.7, 11 rebounds in the week and 5.3 assists. I mean, what's your take on, both of these young ladies with what they accomplished to be named players of the week?
Yeah, man. I mean, well deserved, man. Like I said, especially Sonia Citron. Like I said, that game winning shot, man. Like I said, big win, man. Sonia Citron is coming alive, man. 21 points, and like I said, she's one of the ones that the Mystics can count on and stuff like that. She was like one of the rookies of the year last year, right? That went to the All-Star game. So she's picking up right where she left off at. And like I said, another year under her belt, man. Like I said, the WNBA, is now, like I said, Hey, the Mystics, like I said, they got some players, man. So you're only gonna see the good times roll from here. Only thing is gonna stop them really is injuries, because I really think they
Mm-hmm.
got a really good team, man. And got Lauren Betts coming off the bench, and when Lauren Betts is in the game with Shakira Austin, man, that could be even double trouble and stuff like that. So they're gonna cause mismatches and be a matchup nightmare for teams and stuff like that, man. But Sonia Citron, well deserved for the weekend, stuff like this. And I thought she was gonna get it when that game winning shot and the way she's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then Jessica Shepard, man, for the Wings, man. Like I said, 11 rebounds a game, like
Mm-hmm.
16.7, double and stuff like that. She's been playing like a woman possessed, man, helping the Wings. Hey, Wings are doing their thing. They are who we thought they were gonna be, man. They are doing their thing,
Mm-hmm.
man. So hey, like I said, Jessica Shepard is having a monster season already and stuff like that. 11 rebounds a game, 16.7. Like I said, she keeps that up. Like I said, she's going to be an all-star this year and stuff like that, man.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and Sonia Citron again, saying she was a rookie all-star last year. So, you know, yeah, I couldn't have said that. I couldn't have it couldn't have happened to two better players in the league and stuff like that. So it was great for them.
No, I'm with you on both of them. I mean, outstanding job. Washington. With their play overall on the season. I said it earlier, man. I mean, Washington kind of reminds me of Orlando in the NBA, man. The way they play, they have good depth, young talent, and they're starting and they're getting good coaching right now. So, because I did wonder a little bit about Coach Johnson, but he seems to have reeled himself in as well as helping these young ladies. And then Jessica Shepard, I mean, she's key to that team over there. She's a key contributor to what Dallas is doing, and she's helping whatchamacallit, what's her name, not easy for Paige.
Paige
She's
Becker.
helping Paige, and then Harika, she just adds to the depth over there. So kudos to them, for those awards, and it's well deserved, man. It's definitely well deserved. So definitely not going to take anything away from them. So hopefully you'll see them continue to improve and get better and be names to be reckoned with in the WNBA. So next up, um, man, we have been waiting for this from Malunga, man. We have been waiting for this. So where is it? Here it is.
Mm-hmm.
37 points, 12 rebounds, 2 block shots, man. Yo, is this her introduction into the WNBA and what's about to come, for her career? Because, we have been waiting for it. I mean, what's your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts, Cave?
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Like I said, this is like a young, big, what I'm saying, we was talking about that last year when she was on the Storm and stuff like that. We was like, yeah, she's gonna at some point she's gonna have a breakout game and
Mhm.
breakout game. And it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened, but now, man, 37 points, 12 rebounds, 2 block shots, big game. And like I said, that was her coming out party, man. And
Mhm.
they could get more like this from her to Storm. Like I said, they got a nice little talent. They got Flau'jae Johnson,
Mhm.
as an Iowa fan.
Awa, yes, who
Yeah,
came over from Spain. Yeah.
they got some talent on that team, and I watched some of that. I watched a couple of their games too this season already and stuff like that. And like I said, another young team. Like I said, they were one of the oldest teams, with
Mhm. Mhm.
Tyler and all on neck and also. But now they done totally transformed stuff, and they got some young studs, and they're gonna be a problem too, man. They are gonna be a problem, just like how the Mystics are. They're gonna be a problem too. They just got to put their stuff together and stuff like that. But hey, Malunga, like I said, man, the game we've been waiting for. Like I said, she finally had it, man. I'm happy for her, man. She deserved it. Like I said, hopefully we see much more games like this from her in the
Mhm.
future. And I'm pretty sure the Storm want to see it too, because the more she plays like this, the more they could get some wins and get some dubs and stuff like that, man. So it was great,
Mhm.
man. Happy for her.
Man, yes, I believe this is her coming out party. I'm gonna be honest, man. When I see her play, I'm like, come on, is she gonna get the dunk? Is she gonna get the dunk? Is she gonna get that dunk? and to be honest with you, they got players who can get the dunk,
Mm-hmm.
between her and Awa. So it's what's up, man? Thanks for tapping in. Appreciate you. Um, they have talent. It's a young squad. Um, yeah, Valkyries. I respect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They have young talent. First and foremost, let me say this. I love the young talent in this league, man. It's in great hands going forward, no matter what. When the Stewies retire, and a lot of the other vets, we have a lot of young talent with the Paige Beckers, Angel Reese, Caitlin Clarks, Dominique Malunga. We have the talent, man. So
Mm-hmm.
stat line looking real down. Wemby like yeah, true. I mean, but the thing is, once she refines her game and she gets comfortable with playing in the WNBA, and I think that's what this is, she's getting more and more comfortable. And then, like you said, you have other talented players. It's going to open up her game. So I'm with you, man. I think it's a great introduction. I do think this is going to be now 37 a game on a consistent basis. No, I'm not expecting
Mm-hmm.
that. But if you're telling me she can get her 20 to 25 a game, yeah, I'm expecting that. So,
Yeah. Yo,
the average age of delivery. Hey, watch the 50s, man. Leave us 50-year-olds alone, man.
yo,
So, but nah,
but on the Malunga and Fam, could this be
yeah,
the start of the Twin Towers?
fly exactly, man. Exactly. So it's they get consistent guard play over there. They're going to be a trouble in the long run. So L.A. like we talked about a little bit earlier. Of course, Dallas. You see what's happening there. So Washington. You see what's happening there. So it's like the young talent here is here, and you're going to be adding more and more Juju. Where is Juju going to go? I'm really liking what I'm seeing in the league so far. So but, hold on a second. Y'all think Cameron? I don't think she's a but. I mean, I understand about the injuries. I get it. Some people are concerned, but she does have the talent that can play in this league. It's just she just got to be out there. Yeah, Juju Hidalgo. What's the other girl from South Carolina? The other the post player that they have who's a freshman. Damn, what's her name?
It's not Sarah something. Sarah
I
Strong.
forgot what her name. The WA could finally be coming out of the dark ages that's started since the original Houston Comets.
Oh,
Yeah,
said Watkins. Yeah, Watkins or
yeah,
something.
yeah. So, but yeah, the talent coming into this league, man, I'm even watching some of these high school players. The way
Yeah.
they're coming out, it's like here in Jersey, New York. Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a plethora of young talent that when they get to college and they mold their games and they get to the WNBA, we're in for a great ride going forward. So, strong at UConn, yeah, strong, exactly. So, yes, the big name schools, UConn, UCLA, South Carolina, yeah, they're going to get their fair share, but it's spread out through college and
Mm-hmm.
across the high school. There's a kid there's a young player, I believe, down in Texas, another young player who's out
Madison
there.
Booker.
Yeah, she's out there dunking left and right. Like
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like I'm like yes. The women's game in basketball is in great hands going forward. So
What's name could dunk at Duke? Toby Fournier.
you know about your Dukies. You know about your Duke players. So
Yeah.
um but yeah, so really excited to what we're seeing. Next we're gonna go into per the hold on, make sure I have it right. There it is. The WNBA site. We're gonna go through their power rankings real quick. So and this is for week 6. So um this was just done Monday, yesterday. So of course there was no doubt about that. Minnesota. And this week they have Washington. They're at Washington, so they're going to go for the revenge game. and then at Dallas. So
Mm,
that's going to be a big game tomorrow. So um, you also have the Aces. They
mm,
have New York tonight, Dallas on Thursday, and then at Chicago. So they're on the road trip. Atlanta.
mm-hmm.
They just played Toronto. They have Golden State on Wednesday. Woo! Then they turn around. Oh, they're playing both 2 games,
Back to
Wednesday and
back.
Friday at Golden State, and then at Seattle. So that's going to be tough right there for them.
Mm.
Coming in at number 4 is the Liberty, which is Vegas. Then they're at Seattle and then at Golden State, man. And that's going to be tough right now. So um, then you have Golden State, which has Atlanta 2 and then New York. So this is going to be a real test to Golden State. Can they push themselves up in the rankings? Especially playing Atlanta, those 2 games, and then hosting New York. So this is a great opportunity for them right now. Then you have Dallas. They had Seattle. Then they have Vegas on Thursday, and then Minnesota on Sunday. Woo! Yes, it's some games, man. It's some
Yeah, man.
games coming.
Yeah,
Indiana's coming in at 7. They had Phoenix. Yeah, they had the big fight against Phoenix.
I think
Then
back.
they had played Wednesday another one, and then Saturday against the Sparks. And but you can't sleep on the Sparks, man. Then you have the Sparks coming in at 8. They're at Toronto and then at Indiana, so those are still some tough games, especially being on the road. You have Washington. They're hosting Minnesota at Connecticut, and then they host Portland, so they have opportunities to move up. This is what I was talking about the
Right.
back end of the playoffs earlier. So when you see right there, the opportunity is there. It's going to be tough, but it's um, Toronto right there in the mix at Atlanta, the Sparks, and then Phoenix. You have Portland, 8 and 9. They have at Chicago back to back on Wednesday and Friday, and then at Washington. So you have Phoenix. They played Indiana, then they have the other one Wednesday, and then at Toronto on Saturday. You have Chicago. They had Connecticut. They had host Portland back to back, and then host the Aces on Sunday. Connecticut has now they have Friday. They have Washington, um, and then Seattle coming up, which has New York on Thursday, and then Atlanta on whatchamacallit. And kudos to um, Brittany Griner, because I think she just broke the all-time record in blocks. So kudos to her. I think I just saw that, so I forgot to put it on the agenda today. So, but yeah, I mean, your thoughts right now on the power rankings according to um, WNBA.com.
Yeah, man, I agree with the power rankings. Like I said, they're gonna go by the records and how teams been playing within the last week and stuff like that. And like I said, with New York just going down with 2 in a row and stuff like that, they're going. I mean, right now they're at number 4. They could be down at number 6. And hey, you got to
Mhm.
reward the teams like Atlanta Dream. Like I said, I'm here in Atlanta, so I watched the team. Like I said, they've been doing their thing and stuff like that. And like I said, with Angel Reese and stuff like that, I knew they were going to be much better, a little bit better than they are. And they doing, like I keep saying, they're doing this without Brianna Jones. So when she gets,
Mhm.
that's going to be even more of a beef up front. And so it's going to be great, man. Like I said, Minnesota right now is still number 1. Like I said, yeah, they still up there. Like I said, they still a good team. Like I said, doing this without Nafisa Collier has to be commendable. You gotta give him credit, man. You
Oh,
gotta give him
he
credit.
got me with that one. He got me with that one. Never heard of a Duke. Okay.
Never.
uh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Olivia, I love watching her handle the rock. Yeah, so I want to see a woman player actually dunk again. I've seen quite a few. I mean, Candace Parker did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa Leslie did it. So yeah, Malunga has done it. Now she did it in France, and Awa did it in Spain. So she said Miles has got a nice little.
Yeah, I told you,
I'm
sorry.
not going to touch that one, man. I'm not going to touch that. The Valkyries have yet to show that they can beat they beat the Liberty in New York. And they were in the top 2 at the time. So how do they fade against a team that may be number 2 tomorrow? Depending, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but they beat New York in New York. It was early in the season, but they beat them. Blake, and Blake is another Jersey girl. So kudos to her. Made Reese so angry all the time. Give girl a hug. Nah, man, let her play angry, man. I love her game, man. That's Jersey, man. That's Jersey. It may not win another game this season.
Hannah Hidalgo from Jersey too. Hannah Hidalgo, she from Jersey too, right?
I know Miles is. Is Hidalgo from New Jersey? I don't know.
She might be from Maryland. She's from Virginia. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
No, she was born in Jersey. She's from Merchantville, New Jersey.
Yeah. Okay. That's what it is. No, but I knew my whatchamacallit was from Jersey. So out to on this, BG. Oh yeah, that's right. Brittany Griner dunked. That's right. You're right about that. I forgot about that. She's dunked a couple of times.
Hold on. You mean Jonquil hasn't dunked yet in the game?
Not in the game. No. The Liberty were a top 2 when they did lose to.
Right. They? Yeah, they were, and they lost 2 in a row.
Yeah, and they lost 2 in a row. Who that talking ish on Valhalla? So, but yeah, so there you have it. That's the power ranking. So tap in, to the WNBA, tap into ESPN.com. We're going to be coming back with ours soon, so don't worry. We did one, so we're going to definitely do that. And last thing before we get out of here, man, everyone, make sure you get your votes in, man. Go to the WNBA.com site or on your phone, go to the app, vote, man. Vote for your favorite players, man. We voting for our liberties, and then if you catch it, sometimes they give you double bonus for, if you vote that day, it's times 2. So make sure y'all go in and vote, man. So
get Ostia in there. Get Ostia in the WNBA.
Yes. Let's get her in there. So we loaded up with Liberty, but I'm also fair too. I do. Look, I gotta say Aja Wilson definitely is on my first on my list. I can't deny that. So I'm not gonna go into the others, but I do have a good percentage of Liberty. So, but make sure y'all vote because we want to have a good All-Star game, man. So
he said both Benaja Laney.
Yeah, so vote Caleb Burton. So there you go. So but hey, that's it. We really appreciate everyone for rocking with us. So it's been a great show. Looking forward to another one next week. Stay tuned. I'm going to be covering some games with the WNBA. So make sure y'all tap into New York Liberty Courtside with Coach Ed. I got games Sunday. I know Sunday. I believe they're playing they're playing Golden State, the Liberty, if I'm not mistaken. So
night game.
Yeah, it's at 7:00. So so I'll do pregame and then I'm going to dive right into the game after that. You know how I do. So, but yeah, stay tuned to Cave. Cave is going to be tapping into some. What you got? Anything else this week other than the draft tonight?
Draft tonight and probably some WNBA because, like I said, I mean, when you win a championship, you're gonna take a little time off.
Hey, I understand, bro. Yeah, orange blue skies, baby.
Just orange and blue skies. You already know what it is, man.
Exactly. So I'm right there with you. So
make sure y'all tap in, man, with Unpop Opinion Sports and Aboriginal Sports tonight. Back right now, man. In a few minutes, because we're gonna do the NBA draft tonight. So hey, be right there for the first round of NBA draft. We'll be on there calling it tonight, man. So tap back in.
Exactly. So tap in, like you said, the Aboriginal, hardcore. Everyone's covering the NBA. So let's see who goes number 1. Let's see with all these trades. Let's see what the Nets are going to do. I'm intrigued to see what the Nets are going to do. To be honest with you, especially after that trade for Julius. I mean, he's
Randall.
And his wife has loved New York, so she always said it. So, but yeah, but again, we're gonna get out of here, man, because we got to get over to the other show. So, make sure y'all tap in. We appreciate all the love and support, and we'll be back next week for another Courtside View in the W. Peace.
Yo, welcome to the man cave. drown they legends. WNBA news, we about to ring the bell. Leave Diggy, Coach Ed, we got the scoop. On and off the court, watch the power move. From the hardwood glory to the locker room chats. We cover it all, ain't no need for no stats. Sipping on knowledge, pouring out the truth. Supporting the queens who brings the fire, that's the proof. So sit back, turn it up, let the stories unfold. WNBA, we bring the heat, the future's bold. In the man cave where the legends collide. Leaf Diggy and Coach Ed got that East Coast pride. What? WNBA vibes, we breaking it down. From the game to the grind, let's wear that crown. Stay tuned in, we keeping it real. The stories of strength and the heart that you feel. Dishing out knowledge like assists we aim. In the man cave where we elevating the game. So grab your seat, let the action ignite. WNBA, we bring it to light, keep it tight.